My name's John Robson, and I wanted to spend some time today talking about a project I built around one of my favorite Wikimedia projects, Wikivoyage. So Wikivoyage, for those who don't know, is a travel guide. It's free for anyone to edit and anyone to access. There's some really great content on there. I myself am an avid traveler, so I use this website a lot. I use it usually to plan backpacking trips, and where I usually cover, say, at least 3, 4 cities, usually a lot more. Um, so I don't like to just go to like a single destination and go to a hotel and stay there for the whole duration of the trip. I like to go somewhere and just really dig into a country. So this website is great for me. It's a lot of great content about how to get between places and get into a place. And when you're there, it's great to discover things you might not have been aware of. So yeah, I love the content here, but it wasn't really the way the content was presented was not really reflecting the way I wanted to consume that data. So as a side project for a bit of fun, I created a progressive web app built in React. My main motivation was, can I create a travel guide that works offline that I can use on my phone and that will allow me to edit Wikivoyage while I'm traveling. So I wanted to talk about a few of the things I built today and kind of raise a few things I learned along the way. So this is the website. So like Nomad is actually the code name I've been using, but I've started to call this Someday because I quite like the name of it. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you too much. But the first thing I wanted to think about was the homepage of Wikivoyage. So the homepage for Wikivoyage is actually looks a bit like this. So there's a lot of options here. You can search for a place. There's destinations of the month. Kind of picks out places you might be interested. But I rarely use this, to be honest. It's not something that interests me. Typically, like when I travel, like when I go somewhere and I'm at a homepage, like I want to be inspired. I want to know where to go next. Usually I'm like, I need to travel somewhere. Where am I going to go next? So with that in mind, I created this page, which I feel solves that problem a lot better for me. So it actually produces like a list of images of destinations I could travel to. So I can actually click on any of these and find out about them. But the idea is that hopefully that image is the first thing that pulls me in. Like, maybe I'm interested in boats, and that's something that interests me. Maybe I'm looking for some like greenery. Maybe I want a beach. There's something for everyone, really. Hopefully these pictures capture what's interesting. So I don't know, maybe this inspires me. I'm like, oh wait, this looks interesting. I wanna go to Japan. So let's have a look at that page and see what that looks like. Boom. Okay, so on Wikivoyage, this article looks like this. So it's a really nice banner. I really like this like convention of the Wikivoyage community. I haven't used it on my project because I don't think it's very useful on a mobile device, and that's what I've been focusing on. But you see, there's one map there, and there's a few images, and it's a pretty good article from the look of it. So one thing I wanted to pull out was those images, because I think if you're thinking about going somewhere, like it's important to, it's just fun to kind of see, okay, I want to see all these images in one go and get a sense for this place. Like, looks pretty cool, huh? Like that food, no idea what it is, but looks interesting. And this is just putting the images from the article and putting them in one place, like, rather than scattering them throughout the article. Also, it's interesting to know what's nearby. So this list is actually generated from Wikitext. So this whole website is basically screen scraping Wikivoyage's content and trying to put some structure on it. So if I look at this, I can see there's a lot of links here in this like content. I've actually pulled those links out and then given some context to them. So I pulled the image out. I've given the distance from the place you're looking at. And like a quick summary. So just 10 kilometers away at the upper end of the Indian line is a popular beach for beginner surfers. So I mean, this content is just here. This content's useful when I'm there, but not necessarily when I'm planning a trip. Like usually when I plan a trip, I want to work out like where am I, where do I want to go, and then where can I go from there. Yeah, so that's this section. So also sites, I wanted to pull those out. So typically the sites like are really interesting when you're traveling to a place. If I look at the original article, there's a C section, but this is a long list, and there's no pictures. There's like I look at this, I have no context of what template this is. Like it really like demands some kind of research. So maybe at this point I'll be going into Google and saying, okay, like what's my Johnny temple? And I get a few results. And because like Wikipedia, usually I do something like this, and I find, oh, there's the Wikipedia article for it. And I'll click on it, and then I'll have a look at what this place is and make a decision of where I want to go. And usually, like, this is something I do often. I end up context switching quite a lot. So I'll be jumping between this tab and this tab, trying to work out what I want to do. Sorry, this tab, rather. So yeah, let's not do that. So instead of doing that, I pull them out here. So I provide the image at the very least and the place name. And again, this is screen scrape, and I'm trying to find like clues for what sites are there. And there's a bit of markup that does this. So like, I don't want to get into too many details, but it's quite difficult to do this consistently, and it's been a bit of a pain. Typically, I look for text that's been bolded, for instance. So yeah, so I kind of like this idea of I could click on this and now navigate between places and start planning a trip. So another thing I noticed, so this one we've clicked on. If I go to the article, there's actually only one, there's two images on this article. So the Wikivoyage community is concerned about images not being useful in a travel guide. I actually think that's wrong. I think images are really important and really useful for inspiring people to travel. So if you notice, this one actually has a lot more images. There's even a cute cat of some description there. I really wanted to paint a picture of a place through photos. So rather than relying on the photos actually in the article, I thought, why not get these from comments? So I do that. So the images, like when there's not enough images in the page, I get them from Commons as well. I talked about the sites here, for instance. I said I was jumping between contexts a lot. Like, why not make that clickable? So if I click on that, I can actually pull this content from Wikipedia. So the content is getting from the Wikipedia article. And I don't have to jump to the Wikipedia site. I'm viewing it in the same app. I haven't left the experience. I haven't had to jump tabs. That was important to me. So those are the sort of things I played with. Let's look at a really popular article. So Tokyo obviously has a lot of editors, and you can see like the better an article gets, the more interesting the content becomes. The better marked up it gets, the easier it is to find stuff. I wanted to like pull out like airports into links. I wanted to pull out all the links to like the transit. I wanted to pull the maps into a separate place and think of like travel in terms of different stages. So there's the stage of I'm planning to go to a place. There's the stage of I'm arriving at a place. I need to get in. I need a hotel probably. And then I wanted to get into the idea of I'm at a place. Now what do I do? Like where do I want to go? How do I get around? Like what is there here? So I've tried to like look at a lot of the content differently and how I'd prefer to consume it. So maps are important in travel guides. So if I click on the map, I get a map, and I can actually move around this, and hopefully we can start seeing some other places. Oh, there's a place there. So this was kind of, so like the go next section, for instance, is not always conclusive. This one's actually got a lot of places, but maybe I actually want to go somewhere that's not recommended. Maybe like I know where I want to go. Maybe I need to go here. and I want to see what place are on the way. So here's another way I can explore the content that's already there. Hooray for Japan. So another feature I played with is trips. So when I'm traveling, I typically want to create trips. You can see I've been creating a lot of trips. I've been a lot of travel recently with this app since I started building it. So I wanted to be able to like create lists of places I've been or places I want to go, like particular trips. And obviously I can click and remove, and they will go on these trips. I also wanted to add notes. So I found like these are public notes. So actually these get stored in your username space. But I was noticing when I traveled, like I had lots of things I wanted to put in the article, but I didn't have the time to do that because I was on my mobile phone maybe, and I didn't know the correct template. But I wanted to record, oh, this like restaurant was really good, or this cafe was really good. So I create this concept of notes. So I can create a note as if I'm editing a page and save it. And now actually like I can click on that anytime I visit the page. I refresh the page, it's there. Readily available to me. So there's the trips. Here's some trips I've made. Let's actually look at a Japan trip that I took in 2015. So there's a few pages that I added to. And if I click on this, like I can actually visualize the trip. So you can see there's like the points on the map and like the route I took. So I went do. It's not quite the route, but but that was essentially the trip I did around these places. And I can actually go and visit any of those places I want to. Okanamishima is a place I actually went to when I was there. I actually edited the article a lot. This is actually my photo here that I put on the article. I uploaded it to Commons. This one too. This one too. So, this was a place I discovered while traveling, and I made a note of it. And I think before I traveled, it was a stub, and afterwards, it's got a lot more information. And you can see, like, it's pulled out one of the sites, which is the Poison Gas Museum. So if you wanted to go to somewhere with zombie bunnies, I really recommend this place. I will say no more. So that's that. The trips is I imagine this would be great if more and more people were using it. Sadly, right now it's just me and my wife. It's a bit limited on users. So if anyone wants to give this a spin and like create some lists, that'd be cool. Like it's really interesting to see what trips other people are taking and get inspired by them. This one, for instance, is based on Tintin's adventures. Most of the functions from the normal website are there, so I can search maybe I want to see to San Francisco, which is where I currently live, which is a very large article. This also demonstrates one of the other things I've been playing with. So again, if I jump back to the original Wikivoyage article, you see there's like climb information there, which is really important, I think, because I want to know if I'm going to wear shorts or or need a coat when I visit places. And I see a lot of people turn up at San Francisco airport in their shorts, expecting to be sunny California, and then being shocked and sad that it's not. So I wanted to make that more important, but also not take up too much space. So this allows people to have a quick look up, and it defaults to the current month that you're in. So hopefully the closest to your trip if you're going anytime soon. And traveling, you might have a certain place in mind. So you see this is pre-populated with a bunch of random places all over the world. So I don't know, maybe I want to go to, maybe I'm in the mood for somewhere in Indonesia. Let's try this random place that's come up. I know nothing about. And wow, lots of information. So I really want people to have different ways of exploring the data in this website. So one interesting feature I also discovered is a lot of places don't actually show where to go next. I mean, if I look at this article and go to the go next section, there's actually nowhere to go next. It just says take the ferry to Trosilets. But there's no link there. So I mean, one thing I did was, so when this happens, I actually, rather than show nothing, I'd actually try and see what's nearby by using the Wikivoyage or the MediaWiki API for nearby. And then to make editing easier, when I click on, I can create that list, and it's actually like, I'm gonna take this pre-filled list and I'm gonna edit this content. So I'm gonna do this. Take the ferry and enjoy crossing the bay by boat. And there's also a second place here now. I can now save that, and I've now made the travel guide a little bit better. So anyone can log into this if you have a MediaWiki account, if you have a Wikivoyage account. So we actually allow login via OAuth. So I can actually go to this page and give permission to this app to access my information. So yeah, I don't know, have a play. As I pointed out, it works offline. So if I drop my connection now, boom. It's not actually working still. So if I go to offline pages, you can see all the places that I've been visiting, and despite being offline, I can still actually visit this. So like some of the things don't work. I don't have internet connection, so I can't see this one. It hasn't actually received the update I got just yet, because there was a bit of a lag between. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the ideas I've shared here. Please let me know in the comments if you have any ideas of your own, and maybe there's ways we can actually start incorporating some of these ideas into the main site. Thank you for listening.